If you could design the most perfect financial product, what would it be? We're going to do it today. Stay tuned.
From Philadelphia, the home of the Liberty Bell, Financial Freedom Radio starts now. Here's your host, Raymond Jewell.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to financialfreedomradio.com. How was your weekend, Stevie?
My weekend was great, and it's afternoon, Ray. It's not morning.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What hemisphere am I in?
I don't know, but remember, we launched this show Fridays at 2 p.m., so people are seeing it. It's Friday afternoon.
Oh, yeah, but we're shooting it on Monday.
Well, but we're still shooting it in the afternoon. My weekend was great. How was yours?
Good. Enjoy your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter came up to visit for the weekend. It was great.
Yeah. So you're going to love this show. And by the way, before I forget, please like, share, and ring the bell. Because when you ring the bell,
Ding, 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 ding.
You will be alerted when we do these, and you won't have to seek them out if you're doing that. That would be a great plus if people were seeking these out, right?
Well, they are. People, we're attracting people.
Are we getting more?
Yeah, we are. The numbers are going up really good. It's been a good show, good steady stream of shows so far.
So I promised that I would talk about life insurance today and the benefits of it, and we'll get to that. But so today we're going to talk about the perfect financial product and what it would look like if you were to design it. And I'm going to walk you through it. So if a financial institution came to us and said, we want to design the perfect financial product, what would it be? And we would have a choice of designing it so that it satisfied everything we're talking about and helped eliminate all the eroding factors and, all that stuff. So let's go through that now. And so when we talk about, even though we've said no product will ever make you wealthy alone, it has to be coordinated and integrated together. We're going to talk about creating a product that does that. And it's the ideal world. So we're going to look at designing our perfect financial product. So number one, what do we want our perfect financial product to do? So let's say that we want to create a savings account that has a guaranteed rate of return that never goes up or down, that we have a place we can put our money into that will always be guaranteed, never to go backwards. So if the market crashes, it never goes backwards. And in addition to our guaranteed growth, which is we want it based on efficiency. So we want our growth to be guaranteed and based on efficiency. And I'll explain that in a minute. As we save our money, if we ever become disabled, we want the developer of the product to pay our savings deposit for us. That would be ideal. So we've got a savings account we're putting money into in our ideal product, our ideal world here. And we want that money going in on a systematic and ongoing basis. And if we ever become disabled, we want that developer of the product that we're getting to develop our ideal product to continue to pay that money for us if we ever become disabled. So there's continuity there. It never stops. It continues while we're working. And if we ever become disabled, it continues then too. And if we ever want to use our money, we want to be able to use it without losing growth. Remember, we've gone over use and growth simultaneously. If we take our money out to use it, what do we give up? We give up growth on the money. So while we take it out and use it, we want to continue to have it grow. It's our ideal product. We're designing this. Uh, as our account matures, the growth becomes greater to when you make your deposit each year, you end up where your values are doubled. In other words, when you make a deposit, your account doubles on an annual basis. So you're not only getting a guaranteed rate of return, you're getting paid additional money, and that's going to be paid. We want the developer to give us those dollars based on their efficiency of the company. So as they take money in to pay us our rate of return, we know they're going to use interest to grow their business. But if they don't use the money to grow their business, we want them to give it back to us, a dividend. We want to have a very strong internal rate of return that's not subject to market fluctuations. So our guaranteed rate of return is built into our product, our ideal product. And if the market goes down, our dollars in our ideal financial product don't go down. They stay the same. So when the markets collapse and people lose money, we want our ideal product to stay there. Again, it's our ideal product. We're creating this. So we want to have a strong internal rate of return that is not subject to market fluctuations. We want to also have an external rate of return that if anything ever hurts us financially, for example, death, if we ever die prematurely, we want our heirs to get many, many exponentially more money than what we've got in our savings account. Remember, this is ideal. So if something were to happen to us prematurely, our heirs will get exponentially more paid back to them than what we have in our account. And we want, that's an external rate of return and what we call an eternal rate of return. So in our internal rate of return, as we've said, we want the account to never go backwards. So we don't have to worry about financial markets. Our external rate of return, we want our ideal product to pay our family exponentially more than what we have in the account. And we want the money to be paid to our heirs income tax free and outside of probate. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but outside of probate means lawyers don't get involved. Also, as we grow older, we want our ideal product to make sure that when we pass, when we leave this wonderful planet, our assets are protected. So whatever we have saved over here, we don't want our heirs to have to touch it, because over here, we want to have our ideal product give us protection against our heirs having to spend the assets over here. We want the money to come in here, because over here, the government's going to take taxes or anything if somebody dies. They're going to take estate taxes and all sorts of things. So we want that paid up front. We want our ideal product to pay for that for us. So over here in our ideal product, it's called asset insurance. We want the developer of our product to pay all those other costs and everything that we incur over here. We want our ideal product to offset inflation. Inflation we call as a stealth tax. We'll do on some other shows. I'll show you how inflation can really hurt you. I think we did it a couple shows where you saw the calculator, and we actually showed you where inflation would take its toll. Um, and we want to make sure that um, our perfect ideal product beats markets long term, short term, and long term. So I've just laid out the ideal financial product. And we all know that financial institutions don't work for free. So if we're told, well, let's back up and okay, we know they don't work for free. We know that they're going to operate under the four basic rules. So when we work with our ideal product, we're going to tell our developer, look, you keep every deposit for the first year to cover all your costs and all that stuff that you do. And from the second year on, we'll let you take just a tiny little bit. But after a couple more years, you get nothing and we get it all. But your guarantees have to be that we'll never, ever, 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 ever lose another dime as long as we live. So we make sure that the developer of this product guarantees that we never lose another dime. We're going to let them get their little profit up front, but we want to be guaranteed that after a couple of years, they don't take any more, that we get all of it. And we never suffer any losses due to any market fluctuations, any changes. And on top of that, we want a guaranteed 4% rate of return. We want that written right into the contract. I don't care if the interest rates are zero. We want you to pay us 4%.
That's crazy.
Remember, this is ideal financial product.
This is pie in the sky is what this is.
I'm just, just play along because I'm just creating an ideal product.
I'm playing along, but I'm waiting for the shoe to drop.
Yeah. So in addition to that, we want, and I talked about this earlier, we want you to pay us dividends on our money. So you take the money in, you invest it, do whatever you do with it, and you run your business, your financial company, and then what you don't use to run the company, we want you to give back to us in the form of a dividend. And we want it tax-free. Still with me, Steve?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to say this is all make-believe land.
So we want to make sure that that we stay to our ideal product. So we want you to run a lean ship. So we want that dividend to increase over time.
I can't think of a financial company on the planet that would agree to this.
And everything is contractual. So the shoe that's dropping, I just explained whole life insurance.
No way.
That's what it is. That's what it does. That is whole life insurance in a nutshell.
That seems too good to be true.
Well, it's been going on for years, but will the financial world tell you that? No.
Well, I can understand why. I mean, that does not serve their interests at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why would they sell that?
They've been selling it for years. Wealthy people have been putting money into these things for years, and people that are not so wealthy have been putting money into them. Life insurance companies are the only company to be able to practice what is called adverse selection. They can pick and choose who they want. And There's different types of companies. There's mutual companies that pay dividends to policyholders, and there's stock companies pay dividends to stockholders. So you want mutual companies. There's some very good ones out there, and there's some not so good ones out there. But in all cases, in the ideal product, if you're in a company and you're 10 years into it, you're getting some really good rates of return. The financial people don't understand it. The Dave Ramseys of the world don't understand it. Um, all these big writers want you in stocks because they want you up and down. They want to control you, and that's the reason why. One of the reasons why, and another reason is they don't understand the economics behind it. Remember, there's very little eroding factors in a whole life insurance policy, and the money that goes in there that you pay your premiums is after tax dollars. So when you take your money out, the first money coming out is tax free because you already paid taxes on it, and your dividends are returned to you tax free because that's considered overpayment. So there's lots of things that are to the benefit of the consumer, but you won't hear it from a financial planner because they want you in stocks and mutual funds and all their crazy cockamamie stuff. And it's too simple. If you have a life insurance policy, you've got essentially a trust document. And if that's all you have, you can beat the odds. My insurance policies have beat the markets for the last 40 years, 35 years. So that's it.
It just
And
seems too good to be true.
well, that's that's what it is, and either buy into it or not.
So why isn't
It's the
everyone
I
doing this? Why isn't every person getting a whole life insurance policy if it's that great of a product?
because they don't know. They don't know. They bought into the mantra of the financial planners. You see why I have an axe to grind with them. They're nice people, I'm sure, but they've been brainwashed by the financial institutions to go out and brainwash the consumers. You
So wait,
watch
no,
TV. How
I've
many
got tons of
financial ads
questions.
do you see on TV?
Oh, I see tons of them, but they're all pushing the same product. So wait a minute, I've got tons of questions now. So if it's such a great product, financial planners don't know about it, or they don't want to sell it because it doesn't benefit them.
It's very hard to explain to a consumer because a consumer has been told that it's been bad, and so it's very hard to explain it to a consumer. They're not willing to take the time. Number one, number two, they're not running with macroeconomic models. They're they want they want the money under management, so they get paid management fees and hidden fees and charges and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of them have, and you're right by one of the parts you said. A lot of them don't know.
It
So you
seems
don't
to me
know what the financial planners don't know.
it seems to me like this should be a no-brainer. Everyone should have one of these.
You would think. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
You got more questions?
No, we need to set up a time now where I need to get one of these.
They try all these convoluted ways to get you to put money away, and they give you the allure of funds and stocks and all that kind of stuff. When stock markets go up and down, we saw what happened to people in the stock market. It took a week, and the thing trashed down 10,000 points, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems
Um,
like the stock market is a kind of like a quick win adrenaline rush type of system, and this seems to be more like a long term. Like you said, the first couple of years, you're not going to make any money. You're going to basically be giving them money, This is more like a long-term, slow burn thing, and maybe that's why it's not as sexy as somebody who could say, "I gave this guy $1,000, he turned it into $10,000 overnight." And then they
Oh,
don't tell
yes,
you that next week that 10,000 went down to $50.
that's right. And remember, you've seen me show the loss of time, and 20-year loss took somebody from 1.3 million down to 300,000
Yeah.
in the same window. And you go to a party and tell somebody you have whole life insurance, they'll laugh you out of the room, and they don't even know. And insurance companies will try to talk you out of it to sell you term because it's a quick, down and dirty sale, because people know they need insurance. They just don't want to pay for it. Well, if your costs are in the first 2 or 3 years, and then you don't have any cost, everything's growth. Um, you know, what's the cost? There's no cost. You can have death benefit at no cost. I mean, I've got lots of insurance because I've been in my models. Um, I've had I have some retirement plans and some stocks and that kind of thing, but I've got insurance, and I become my own banker.
Yeah, that was one of the things you said to me when we first met was you gave me that book, Be Your Own Banker, and it never really sunk in. And I've told you since we started this show, uh, you know, you were going to have an episode that was going to go viral. And I now believe absolutely this is the one because the information you've given in this was absolutely eye opening to me. You've explained it in a way that I did not understand before. And we need to be singing from the mountaintops. If anyone wants to have real financial stability, for the long haul, they need to be looking into something like this.
Sure. It just means it depends on how you tag it,
Yeah, well, don't start
right?
down the tech road with me.
That's all I know. You've got the extent of my
Your fascination with
technology.
hashtags has made me crazy lately.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
you you stick to the
that
finances, I'll stick to the technology.
okay. Well, then I just hope many people see this, because this was a long time coming, and I
This was
I
huge.
was reluctant to do it, but I'm glad I finally did it and got it out, and
Yep,
and
very valuable information
so
today.
this behind our why do financial planners keep running red lights? You're seeing why they're running the red lights. Why they see people fail, and you just don't understand why. And if you get to age 65 or 70, and you may have two or $300,000 sitting in a whole life insurance policy, and you got about $500,000 of death benefit, um, you got access to capital that has you've not had to recoup time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show. We may do this the next show. I don't know, depending on if something political pops up that catches my eye. Um, but if you just put away a little amount each year
Yeah,
and start at like age 20, what's that translate over time? It's huge. And you have to look at what's the value of money. You could have $1 million in a savings account or some kind of an account, and at age 65 or 70, you may only have spending power of $300,000 or $400,000.
that's crazy.
So, okay. So I want to thank you all for coming and downloading. And remember, share this video, like it, and ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding.
Right, right. Ding, ding,
Anyway,
ding. There you go.
yeah, we need some sound effects here, Steve.
I'll work on that.
So take care. God bless. And we'll see you back next show. FinancialFreedomRadio.com.
Thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the podcast. If you want to learn how to create real sustainable wealth like the extremely rich people do, or maybe you just want to sustain the wealth you already have, you need to check out Dr. Ray's new book, Why the Rich Are Rich. Ray's been coaching clients for 35 years and has completely unlocked the secret strategies that rich people use day in and day out to grow and sustain their wealth, regardless of what's going on in the economy. His book is completely free, and you can get it by going to whythericharerich.com and entering your email address. Again, that's whythericharerich.com. Head over there now.